So June 1st has come and gone, and it was an important date as it does flip the page in terms of accounting for some of the dead cap hits when it comes to trading or releasing a player. And a lot of teams picked up cap space, and you're thinking that maybe the Vikings and Kwesi had a deal in place with a team to trade Dalvin Cook like that, free up some cap space, extend Justin Jefferson, maybe. But again, June 1st came and went, and Dalvin Cook is still a Viking, and the situation still remains murky. But there really is no rush, and it is a deadline-driven league, and I mean, June 1st is June 1st, but also, yeah, there's OTAs and a mandatory minicamp for teams coming up, but that's really it. And I think that Kwesi is going to wait this thing out. The Vikings are underneath the cap space, even warehousing Dalvin's current contract, and I think they're just going to see what happens. And Kevin O'Connell has said that they want to do the best for Dalvin Cook, and Dalvin knows that. Kwesi's repeated similar sentiments about number 4, so who knows? And reportedly, Dalvin is interested in a couple of teams, notably the Buffalo Bills, reuniting with his brother James, as well as the Miami Dolphins, his hometown squad. And yeah, I mean, this just keeps dragging on, and I have a sneaky suspicion that it's going to last all summer. Good times. But Armando Salguero over at Outkick, a longtime NFL writer, specifically in Miami, so really trust his sourcing here. Minnesota Vikings could throw a major curve into Dalvin Cook post June 1st. Plans if they wish. Dalvin Cook fate still uncertain. The Vikings months ago asked Cook to take a pay cut from his current $10.4 million base and got down. Now, Doogie reported a couple weeks ago that Dalvin is starting to warm to the idea of a pay cut, but we'll see. They've also tried, so far to no avail, to trade Cook, but the club has a new opening for dealing with Cook now. The whole scenario is intriguing because while no team has stepped up aggressively enough to trade for Cook, he most definitely would have suitors if he is simply cut this week or sometime soon after. Count the Miami Dolphins, who gained some $13.6 million in cap space from a post-June 1st cut of cornerback Byron Jones as one of the leading candidates to be interested in Cook if he's suddenly a free agent. Cook is from Miami. He has made known through sources he'd like to play either for the Dolphins or with his brother James Cook on the Bills, and the Vikings have let it known Cook probably isn't in their future. And that's alluding to Kevin O'Connell this week at OTAs, really talking up Madison and Ty Chandler and Kinkenny as competition, and the fact that O'Connell and O'Connell and Kwesi have talked about wanting to do right by Dalvin, but they haven't necessarily talked about Dalvin in their plans for this season. And of course, Buffalo reuniting with his brother James, which would be fantastic. Although James did change his number from 28 to 4, so Dalvin, I mean, is he going to impress older brother privileges and take 4 from his brother, or is he going to go with a different digit? I don't know. But also, I love this picture because first off, great moment for the family, posing with their moms, jersey swap and that stuff. And this is after the Vikings comeback win against Buffalo week 10. It was great. And just look how happy Dalvin is, and look how bummed James is. You love to see it. It's good times, man. Also, didn't James fumble in this game? I don't remember. But yeah, Dalvin busted that 81-yarder that got the comeback going. Let's go, man. And looking at the Bills and the Dolphins running back situations. So the Bills, they do have James. They didn't necessarily invest in the draft for a running back. So it's going to be Nyheim Hines, who's more of a special teams guy. Damian Harris is going to be in the mix, former Patriot. Latavius Murray. Yes. The immortal one is also going to be in there. But right now you could easily say that James is running back 1 in Buffalo. And also the Bills currently have $1.4 million in cap space, so they'd have to do some work to take on Dalvin's contract, is what it is. For the Dolphins, like Armando said, they did free up a significant chunk with the post-June 1st designation release of Byron Jones. And they did draft Devin Akane in the 3rd round, speedster from Texas A&M. They did re-sign Raheem Mostert as well as Jeff Wilson. So they do have bodies there, but you could say in both rooms, obviously Dalvin would be the best running back in both situations. And for the Vikings, it is an interesting spot because they could just call Dalvin's bluff, and they could just hang on to his contract and make him show up to mandatory minicamp, otherwise face absorbent fines. Same thing with training camp, where it's fines and possibility of a contract tolling. It's basically impossible for a player to hold out under the current CBA. And the Vikings, even though Dalvin is has a $10.4 million base salary and a $14.1 million cap hit, they're $11 million under the cap, and they could wait. And if they need to free up room, they could do a classic restructure with Brian O'Neill still. But if they do cut him, which I think is the most unlikely of the... so rating the likelihood of outcomes. Number one, I think it gets traded. Number two, the Vikings keep him, probably on a rework deal. And number three, cut. I think cut is pretty low at this stage, because if they do cut him, they get about $9 million in cap savings. Does have $2 million guaranteed, but that does offset if a team does sign him for more than $2 million or more. $5.1 million dead this year. Of course, that would go revert to 3.1 if another team does sign him, and then 3.1 dead in 2024. Hence, the importance of June 1st, because you can spread out those dead cap hits over 2 years versus taking on the chin in 1 year, and then trading $11 million in cap savings immediately, and then 3.1 dead in 23 and then 2024. And the Vikings, like we said a bunch, they're fully situated and good to go at running back if they do move on from Dalvin, King Kene, Madison, Ty Chandler, and Dwayne McBride. But can Kwesi get a little competitive bids going? Like, I was thinking if they did trade Dalvin, it would be more of a salary dump and maybe a 6th round pick. But if these two want to go at it, because remember they're in the same division, so also they have to think about having to face Dalvin twice a year. So could we get a 3rd round pick out of this? That would be gorgeous. That would be gorgeous. Making something out of nothing. Kwesi, get it done, man. But we'll see. Anyways, your thoughts are thoughts. Dalvin Cook, still a Viking for now, even post June 1st. Reportedly is interested in either the Bills or the Dolphins. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skull Production Value.